What's up, guys? Whiskey Ceremony here again. I don't know if this is the fourth installment. So this is it coming to console? The all-eternal question that y'all always seem to ask on every single Facebook post that I put up. The modern question today, of course, is the New Holland CR10.90 or CR10.90, I should say, US. This was one of the first mods that I ever did for FS19. I converted a couple of mods. Well, I take that back. I edited a mod, the TM/60 series, New Holland, and converted the TS series New Holland from FS17 to FS19. But as far as a one-off mod that I started myself, that I edited myself, the CR1090 was one of the first ones that I did. Now, let's get to it. So, first off, this is how it looks in store. Honestly, this is one of my favorite combines. I think it looks, even though it's pretty much the same thing as the, I guess let's see the biggest Case IH one. Which one is that one? The 9250. So it's essentially a 9250. It's what it is. An axial flow. Because, you know, if you didn't know already and you thought the Case IH was the superior brand, Case IH and New Holland or CNH are the same brand. So technically, the CR1090 is no different than the 9250. Well, I mean, obviously it is. It has its own differences. Because Case IH, it's the best way to put this. Basically, Case IH, and I've said this in a couple of the videos. Basically, Case IH is Case New Holland. So Case IH, New Holland, CNH. Back in the early 2000s, when I was in high school, because I'm old, it was more or less if you wanted red or blue. Now, for the most part, it's kind of changed. Except for, like, you know, the Farmall series, the Maxim series. They're kind of different. The Puma, T7, Magnum, T8. They're similar in their own ways, but they're still different in color. But it used to be just like, do I want red or do I want blue? But now, obviously, things are different. So, like the combines, for instance, twin rotor combine that New Holland has always had, you know, is different from the AFS Connect combine. Still the same technology, still the same company, just different technologies. A lot of it too, like I know you guys that actually use combines. We don't really use combines out here in Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. Like the guys that have combines usually have older combines, and they usually just feed shell corn to their cattle. Like I know you guys out west that actually use these, you know, use them to cut corn, wheat, whatever else. And I should say, like Eastern Virginia too, like east of me, like 3 to 4 hours east of me, you know, they raise soybeans. Here in Southwest Virginia, we raise corn, and mostly it's corn silage and shelled corn. Nobody's rocking a CR anything, you know, around here. A lot of forage harvesters and a lot of New Holland forage cruisers with a silage, but as far as like combines, I mean, it's mostly old John Deere combines because not many people really feed shelled corn in this area. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, the mod itself, like I said before, is one of the first mods that I did for Farming Simulator 19, and I finally got it converted to FS22 to a point where I'm actually, you know, happy with it and excited about it. And just as like every mod that I did in FS19 that I've done in FS22, I think it's better. In some and some people may disagree with me, some people may not. I think personally, this is me. I personally think like the lighting. Like I love the graphics of FS22. I love the textures of FS22, but I think the lighting, in my opinion, is much better. Now that being said, you could disagree, you could agree. In FS19, I think the lighting was more realistic. In FS22, I think it's just more practical. But I think the graphics are much better in this game than they were in the last. Oh, there's something I gotta fix. Anyway, so for the most part, it's the same. Um, Once again, that's something that's like if you watch the last two videos, bugs the crap out of me. I'm trying to get better with cussing. I'm sorry, but the door doesn't open unless you turn the engine on. Open a cab door. Also, why is there a main road where the traffic's blind at the dealership? I'm not really sure what they were thinking on that, but that's John's software, not me. Anyway, so you see the stance. These are dual wheels. So I'll show you. This is unfolded. Let me start it back up. This is whatever. Anyway, so this is unfolded. So this is the pop out and ladder out and all that good stuff. So if you fold it, a ladder goes forward from the tires and the pipe folds in. I didn't add longer pops because it's not that I'm still a rookie or whatever. I've been doing this for 2 years, but like having this gimmick right here folding with a longer pop, like I'm just thinking of all the negative possibilities with it. But anyway, going back to it, this is what it looks like unfolded. So if you were to load it like right out of the store, this is what it's going to look like. That being said, unload it, or unfold it, I should say. Folds the ladder out. And it folds the pipe out. And for the PC guys that will get this before the console players, it will have the West Hills Tractor, Jonesboro, Tennessee, New Holland and Case IH dealership. They also sell Bush Hog, Woods. They were sponsored me in FS19. They haven't really sponsored me through FS22, but I still promote them because they're a local business and they are a local dealership to me. And I really like the people that work down there. They're all super nice. And if you need something and you're in the area in Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, like those guys are the best to deal with. Like they're all super nice down there. Their parts guys are great. That being said, West Hills Tractor, Jonesboro, Tennessee. The PC guys will get this dealer decal. Let me see if I can't get a better picture of it. You all will get this decal. Console players, sorry to say, like I know some of y'all have asked about it on Facebook. Excuse me. Y'all will not get this sticker. And the reason why is because Giant's software will not allow it. Because they call it advertising. I'm not advertising for them. I view it as a promotion of it. Well, I mean, I guess it is technically advertising, but I like to have the dealer decal from like a company that's local to me on the equipment that I use in this game. That's just me. Anyway, so these rims here, these are the same hubs that I used on the Forage Cruiser that is actually on all consoles right now. Or on all consoles, Jesus. On all platforms right now. I made those hubs. Let's see. I said this is just like, I don't know, big junk yellow combine sitting in a field. To me, it looks better than a red or green combine, but you know, you be the judge, whatever. Something you may have noticed different from, I'm not going to start it up, but from FS19 is this Demco top. This is a Demco XL. This top in particular, I struggle because like in FS19, I don't want to go off on too many tangents, but I know I do. I have a bad habit of doing that because of ADHD, so I'm like, squirrel. Anywho, the Demco top. In FS19, I use Sid Modding's Martyr, I guess that's how you say it, extension, grain tank extension. I made this Demco from scratch in Blender. And I was like, you know what? I want to keep as many credits as possible off of my own mods. And so I decided that I'm going to start making as many parts. I decided when FS22 came out that I was going to make as many parts myself as I could. Wheels, grain tanks, weights, whatever else. I decided that like it was time for me to really learn and be the custom modding except for by myself because I mean I don't have anyone else to do this with. So anyway, made this grain tank extension myself, and I've made it. It's not perfect because I was like invested into watching the entire G Gundam anime series completely while I was working on this at the same time in Blender. So it's not like perfect, but it looks good. Decent fill plane. I'm sure Giants will have some sort of issues with the fill plane. I think it looks good. They may not. It's up to them, as always. Let's go into harvesters. That's the category it's in, obviously. I don't know why it wouldn't be. That's not it, but we might do something with that in the future. Because over here, this funky looking combine that New Holland makes, the small combine, is the CX series and not the CH series. Okay. So you see I have two. Yeah, that's what I thought. One is for pictures that I left in the mod folder and forgot to delete. I need to go back and do that. So when you load the combine in the store, console players, I shouldn't read too much in that. If you do get this mod, disclaimer, you will not get this West Hills Tractor sticker. That being said, this is what you get in the store. So, the standard New Holland CR10 grain tank extension. And then, of course, the Demco XL that I made. Trouborg tires. I could have probably chose a better set of wide tire, rear tires. I can't talk tonight for some reason. Like I've worked my ass off the last month and a half, so if I sound like I'm high or drunk, that's probably why, because I'm not literally, but I've just been overworked and underpaid. Anywho, so Demco XL and the standard New Holland grain tank, that's what you get with the CR10.90. Just like it before, you got the standard grain tank and the bar extra large grain tank that was Sid Modding's. I'm not using his. I decided to make my own. Wheels, of course, default Trouborg, so I just left it at that. But it's the Trouborg tires. If you remember from the in-game version of FS19, you did not get wheels at all. You got rear tires. And you got front tracks. That's all you got for FS19. So Trelleborg, standard tires, all the way around, in duals. Which in my opinion, like, I don't know, if I owned a big ass farm out in the middle of nowhere that I raised soybeans, wheat, corn, whatever, I'd want a combine that had dual wheels on the front. So that's what you got. So there's Trelleborg duals and the crawlers. I chose, and I know like some people may get like annoyed by this or whatever, and John's may even say something about this because I did not convert the New Holland tracks from FS19 over to FS22. I may do that later in the future, but for now I just left it at the Case IH quad track front tracks. You know, personally, I love how they look. You may not, and that's fine. I don't like the white dishes on the tracks. That's just me. I like the CNH tracks, the Case New Holland tracks. That's just me. But anyway, that's what you get with Trelleborg. So you get standard, dual tracks. Michelin, same thing. Standard, kind of floaters, right? Duals, a little bit wider. Tracks. Continental, same thing. Oh, Midas, actually, I take it back. Midas is before Continental. So Midas, a little bit fatter tire on both the rear and front. And a little fatter tire front and rear. Of course, too, tracks is the same. Continental's the same as before. Front and rear. Of course, they got standard wide tires, which I don't know why. It's kind of reversed, but anyway. Like I got this backwards. We're not gonna worry about that right now. Twin wheels. Like I said, those were the hubs that I made from scratch in Blender. And the crawlers. So we'll just leave it at twin wheels and Continental. I really like how the Continental wheels look. Jesus, the Continental tires look. It's very much reminiscent of how we have things set up around here. Not many people use Trelleborg. I've seen Trelleborgs mainly on T5 New Holland tractors, and that's really it. It's mainly Michelins and Continentals and Firestones around here. Anyway, with the dual wheels and the... No, I left that one apparently. May change that later. The dual wheels, you get the extensions out here, like the little arms, if you see my cursor. So that's the very American style, by God, New Holland CR10.90 US. So looking around it, if you saw it before in FS19, if you do FS22, you probably haven't seen it before. Rear triangle. I left the chopper the way it was. I didn't decide to change it. Decal, top. I had to do a lot of work to this platform in Blender to get it to look like this, because it was like the ladder itself was like right here. So if you can imagine, and also the lights were too. The lights were like right here, and the ladder was like right here. So if you can imagine, it was like a long way that I had to go to get all this to work, and all this separated in Blender. And honestly, like, this entire 3D object that you see right here had to go into Blender, and I had to separate every single moving piece. The pipe, this inner frame, all of this, like all of this shit, every bit of this had to go in Blender. All of this had to go in Blender for me to actually make it animate to how I want it to animate. So anyway, like I said, you have the wheels, you have the grain tank extensions, you have the lighting pack, and now what I did with it is these two little, and this is like the sentimental to me personally. Me and Johns may say something about it, which is whatever, I don't care. But you see there's nothing here, and you select lighting pack, and there's 2 little extra work lights. This is like one of the first things that I did to this mod back in FS19 when I released it. And you also get extra beacons. That was another thing that I added later on. So you get the stock beacons, which are right here. You can see them. The beacon pack, which is 2 extra beacons. Now we'll go back to, you see you have the triangle up here on the platform. If you select that's CR10.90 US, if you select CR10.90 Euro, it goes back to the standard, which would have been the CR10.90 from FS19, except for with wheels and a green tank extension. Anyway, so I'll go away. So, you know, to answer the question, is it coming to console? I don't know. I have it in testing with Giants right now. They completed testing within a day, which means that always means that they've found something on the PC level that they want you to fix. That's always what that means. If it goes from testing to console testing to pending release or whatever, that means the mod's ready to release. In this case, they did testing on it at this point at 5/22/22. That means that they have not taken the mod past that point. So that being said, I want it to be for all platforms. That's my goal. And because it was like it was actually, now that I take this back, it was one of the first console mods that I did for FS19. It was one of the first mod releases that I did that wasn't an edit of somebody else's mod or a conversion from FS17 of someone else's mod. So it was one of the first mods that I did for Farming Simulator 19 all across the board. So it's one of the first mods that I started and released for PC only. Then after a year of a lot of hard work and help, a mod that I released on all platforms. It was one of my first all platform mods for FS19. Unfortunately, like the Forge Cruiser, I say unfortunately, but it was one of the first mods that I ever tried to actually get on all platforms. It was one of the first ones for FS19, or excuse me, FS22. This one was the first one for FS19, so it's kind of sentimental for me because it was, in a sense, because it was the first mod I ever did from the in-game like base model for FS19, and one of the first mods I released on the official mod hub for FS19. So I'm hoping that I can actually get it squared away and get it for all platforms on FS22. So, to answer your question, yes, maybe for all platforms. Like I said, no promises are ever made because Giants changes their mind from day to day. If y'all remember the 9682 New Holland that I made for FS22, yeah, it never came to all platforms. It's been on PC only ever since. It's unfortunate, but for some reason, it was with trouble work. I haven't quite found that yet because I've had like 15 people try to reproduce this error for me. They keep finding an error, and the mod's perfect, but they keep finding an error, and I cannot figure out for the life of me where. However, anyway, that being said, the CR1090 US, is it coming to all platforms? I really hope. I really hope it does. That being said, I'm signing off for tonight. Please like and subscribe for more. If you haven't seen on Facebook, if you do follow me on Facebook, you've probably seen it by now. But if you don't follow me on Facebook, please do. It's facebook.com/WhiskeySierraModding. I am releasing. I'm not going to show that because it's another video. I'm releasing a new Holland/Case International round baler. It is the new roll belt round baler, the RB series, both CNH and New Holland round baler at 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys can please get me to 1,000 subscribers, I'm at like 517 right now, I would be forever indebted to you guys. So, and I will happily release that mod at 1,000 followers on YouTube. So please like and subscribe to this video. Please like and subscribe to the last two that I've uploaded. I don't get a lot of time to post on here, but when I do, I really try to go as in-depth as possible with these mods. So please, guys, please follow me. Patreon, I do have a Patreon. I don't post mods on the Patreon. So what I do, if you subscribe to my Patreon, you can ask me on there. I charge for a service. I don't charge for mods. I charge for services. So polls, input, suggestions, finding errors, so just generalized anything that involves mods that I have versus mods that I release, like from start to finish. Like the patrons make it 15 times better than what it was when I was trying to do everything by myself. So please please subscribe to that. It's not like I said, it's not a way to get mods because everything is released publicly. Everything that I do, and you can ask anybody on Patreon who has subscribed on Patreon. Anybody that's been a part of that knows that my goal is to release mods that I want to play with and that I want everybody in the community to play with. We have a public Discord. Link's going to be in the bio. If you want to be a part of that, you're absolutely welcome. There's some shenanigans in there. I don't really filter myself in the public Discord. You can take it or leave it. If you don't like it, that's up to you. In January, I believe it was, of 2022, I started WhiskeySierraModding.com because I got sick and tired of dealing with third-party modding sites. And the reason I did that is because I got tired of trying to post things on Mod Network and then end up on modhub.us, and which that's where most people download from. And I'm not get credit for that because with Mod Network, you get $10 a month if per 1,000 downloads. Anyway, I got tired of dealing with a third-party website, so I decided to make my own, and that's where I upload my public PC releases. So anyway, that's a whole lot of information in one video. This will probably be the longest one out of this whole series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If not, let me know. I'm hoping like once I get to that 1,000 follower mark that I can afford to do a streaming setup, and Lord be willing, my schedule, I can actually do some live streams of me actually playing Farming Simulator, which I've been trying to do for 2 years now. So anyway, like I said, guys, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think, and we will catch you next time.